For the hand sewing assignment, you want to start by cutting 14 pieces of fabric that are 7 inches by 2 inches. Next, you will select a sharp needle and thread your needle with an arm's length. So you can measure out that length of thread from your hand to your shoulder. And if you have some beeswax chapstick, you can run the thread through the chapstick, which will help with tangling. The first stitch, hand stitch that you will be doing is the even basting. Here is my completed sample, and I want to show you that you can take your fabric and mark with your fabric pin or chalk, and you can mark out the measurements. For this first one, we are marking 1/4 of an inch for the entire length of your 7-inch piece of fabric. So after you have marked it, for the instructions for the first one, you are taking 1/4 of an inch stitches separated by 1/4 of an inch spaces. So when you are taking a stitch, you place the needle in and bring it out in one motion. That's a stitch going in and out. Now, because it's even basting, you are going to move over 1/4 of an inch and take the next stitch. So you're going to complete that whole row by repeating those steps. And when you get to the last marking, you can tie your knot over here and clip your thread. So again, this is what it looks like when it's complete. For the second one, it's uneven basting. You are going to start by knotting your thread, taking 1/4 of an inch stitch, and the thing that makes this one different is you're going to move over 1 inch. The spaces will be 1 inch, and then you take 1/4 of an inch stitch. Stitch to the end and tie a knot. The third stitch is the running stitch. Now this stitch you would mark out 1/8 of an inch spaces before you start. And then you are simply going to take 1/8 of an inch stitches separated by 1/8 of an inch spaces. Now this stitch can be used if you ever need to hand gather. And when you do that, you would manipulate the fabric by pushing it against the thread, and you can see how the fabric would bunch up, and that's how you would baste or gather. We're not doing that, we're just doing a running stitch. So you'll keep it nice and flat. I just wanted to show you that.